I stood to leave. She turned, leveling me with her gaze. If it was me stranded by the side of the road, what would you have done? Suddenly I couldn't pry my eyes from a list of numbers she had taped by her phone. They were all in neat columns with names written by them. I would have done the same. She let out a snort laugh and crossed her arms. You would. I forced myself to look at her. Yeah. The expression on her face made me want to defend myself. The city's different. People don't help each other in the same way. But my excuses were lies. I would have passed her by, because all I would have seen was a fat piece of trailer trash. Yet here she was going out of her way for me. She and her sister were doing more for me than my so-called friends would have. Busted, I slumped back down in my chair. I don't know. That's the real answer. I don't know what I would have done. She cocked her head and put her hands on her hips. You good for this? I don't want to get this whole thing rolling if you're just going to skip out. Like a kid in the principal's office, full of good intentions but short on discipline, I nodded. I'm good for it. Later that evening, back in the egg, I was drawing in my journal. The image I was working on was a road with an abrupt left turn. There was a soft rapping on the door. I didn't need to get up. My table was about 2 feet from the door. Hey, Piggin, what's up? She was dressed in the same muumuu and house shoes she wore earlier, and held a flashlight and a small plate. I hope I didn't wake you, she said, switching off the flashlight. No, I was just in here drawing. You an artist? More of a scribbler. She shifted from one foot to the other as if something were bothering her. You want to come in? I have a little couch in here. That's all right, she peeked in. Looks real cute, though. She thrust the plate toward me. The rhinestones on her fingernails flashed in the light of my trailer. I brought you some brownies. I keep 'em in the freezer so they might still be a little cold. I took the plate. Thanks, I said, and figured that would be the end of it. But she didn't leave. Just wanted you to know we're real happy to have you here. Due to the dark, it was difficult to see her expression, but I had the feeling she'd been crying. I waited. Why had she come? We stood at the door like teenagers on a first date, waiting for someone to make the first move. She finally gave in. I've asked the Millsaps to return our ranch truck for a spell. That way you can have some wheels, she said offhandedly. You're kidding. That would be awesome. Well, it's something. I can't figure out why you guys are being so nice. She looked pleased. We're real proud of our helping hands. You sure you don't want to come in? I could tell she had something on her mind besides the truck and helping hands. No, I need to get to bed. She flicked on her flashlight and turned to leave, but stopped before taking a step. You'll find nothing but love here. She said this with her back to me. Unsure how to respond, I said, I get that, and nodded my head like she could see me. Well, good. Her tone had an air of finality, as if she'd gotten something big off her chest. You have a nice night now. Don't let those bed bugs bite. As I watched her waddle away, haloed in light, I wondered, what went on in this family?